Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I want to chat with you guys and gals a little bit about why some people don't make gains on really low volume training. It's again one of those topics where when people bring this up, I always point out that people can make phenomenal gains on low volume training, 5-6 sets a week. I have plenty of clients who are very busy, who we train really hard. They're pretty big, they're pretty strong, doing like 6 sets of muscle group a week, working out 3 days a week. But I also have people who do up to 20 sets. So, I mean, for me as a coach, I really tend to assess these things based upon the free time, the needs, the mindset, everything of the client. You know, and again, their overall lifestyle, what their work capacity, recovery looks like, all of that. Okay, so I do not fall into either camp to where I have a dogmatic view, other than I do say that as training volumes start to go up, you will get a rapid diminished returns in muscle growth. And if you're not recovering from those sessions sufficiently, you will possibly get even less muscle growth. So it's in theory, volume probably up to a certain extent may be open-ended in its ability to add tiny extra amounts of muscle growth if you can recover from it. So it's a question of, are we just getting good gains, great gains, or are we trying to optimize? But we come back over to the point of when I say stuff like people can still get more than half of their gains, if not more, per month, per year, doing relatively low volumes, as low as 5 or 6 sets a week. Okay? But when I say that, you get people who are like, there's no way. Like, they're like, there's no way. Like, I've tried that and I didn't get any gains. And I'll see guys who do that. And I've seen guys who do that. And let's be honest, if you're trying to train with those sort of volumes, you have to train really hard. Okay? When you're doing 15 sets of muscle group, your individual sets don't matter as much. Am I saying they don't matter? So again, people say stuff like that and they think, oh, he said they don't matter. No, it's not what I said. I said they matter less. Okay? They matter less. So when you train in that manner, you accumulate enough overall fatigue that it's oftentimes with moderately hard, moderately challenging sets, you can probably make pretty dang good gains. As long as they're decently hard. I mean, they need to be somewhat challenging. They need to be somewhat challenging, right? 2-3 reps left in the tank, perfectly reasonable. 3 reps in reserve, but if it's a true rep, 3 reps in reserve, yeah, you'll do just fine. On those sort of volumes, you'll make gains. But when we start cutting down to 5 or 6 sets, that's probably not going to cut it. I'm going to go out on a limb and say the guys who are not making gains, they're just not training hard enough. And I had a guy, he told me, he's like, but I train hard. I do train hard. I'm like, really? Because I'm watching you. You don't train hard. It's like, what do you mean? And I don't mean like when people try to say, oh, you didn't hit failure, when they watch me literally hit muscle failure. No, I hit failure. But in his case, he's like, I didn't have any more reps. I'm like, I'm watching you. I can tell that you're not even working hard. And in his mind, and in the mind of a lot of people who think they're working hard, and he later admitted, in fact, he's one of my testimonials, to where he put in the testimonial, Jason taught me what truly working hard is. Because he wasn't working hard. He was doing the sort of lower volumes. He was doing 6 sets, and he was like, I'm gaining literally nothing. I'm gaining no strength, no muscle after months. And I'm talking, when I say no strength, I'm talking he was struggling to bench 1 plate per side for reps, and he had been training a couple years already. Like, so he wasn't even at a 60, 70 kilo bench really. Well, we blew him past that for rep work really, really fast. But I mean, I had him an example. He goes, he was doing dumbbell rows. I'm like, dude, that's nowhere near heavy enough for even the size you have now or for the reps. He's like, what do you mean? He's like, I could only do, 11 reps or 12 reps or whatever it was. That's it. And it hurts and I'm stopping. I said, pump it. I can't do it anymore. I had him add weight. So we took the dumbbell he had been using. This was even virtual. I got real time in the camera. I'm like, I want you to actually control the weight on the way down and I want you to explode up. Stop with this nonsense. Stop with this super slow eccentrics. There's actually minimal evidence to support that, by the way. I find a lot of guys who do super slow eccentrics, their sets just burn out early. They get no performance and then they don't make gains. I'm like, control it at a normal tempo. Like, don't try to lower it 3 seconds. Just let it come down at a normal speed. Right? Not a free fall, just a bit of control. Just a controlled eccentric, right? He did. I had him add weight. And I had him keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. And then he finally did one. He tried to stretch at the bottom and he could not stretch it any further. His lat stretched all the way down. He got to 17 reps. Now, previously, a lighter weight, he was claiming he was done. He couldn't do any more, like a 10 or 11 reps or something, 12 reps, something in that range, right? We got 17 reps with a heavier dumbbell. Like we put something like another 5 kilograms on it. So that's like 10 pounds, right? 10-pound heavier dumbbell. And he picks up at least 5 more reps when I made him keep going. And I told him, don't stop. No, keep going. Keep going. And then he's like, I can't. Finally, when it stuck, he just turned red and they wouldn't move. It just stuck at the bottom. Okay. I'm like, okay, you reached muscle failure. And he's like, oh my God, it hurts. It burns. I've not felt this before in my back. I've never felt this before. Okay. Do you guys see where I'm going? He got at least 5 more reps with a heavier dumbbell. He had never been within 5 reps of failure. He thought that if you just control the eccentrics and it burns and you get a really good pump, that's training hard. If it hurts, if it's burning, then you're training hard. Wasn't going on how close am I to actually reaching muscle failure. He had never really done sets to failure before at all, or that close. So then afterwards, I'm like, so now you know what muscle failure feels like. So when I tell you to get 1 rep from failure and stop, you know what that feels like now. It's about 5, 6 more reps than you normally do. Guess what happened? He started making gains. Okay? This has been my experience. Same thing. I saw guys who ran the kinobody stuff. They just do the drop sets or whatever. No work capacity. Okay? No work capacity. Short break drop sets. Come on. And none of them were really to true failure. Make them work hard. Build their work capacity up a little bit. That's what they start making gains. The problem is that low volume training is for people who don't have the time or want to spend huge amounts of time at the gym. For people who don't want to train really hard, so if you're doing it because you're lazy, and that's oftentimes the people it appeals to, we just don't need to do that much in the gym. Okay. It's not going to work. You're not going to make progress. Low volume training usually means your sets need to be really hard. Really hard. If you're going to do 5 or 6 sets per muscle a week and call it quits, your sets better be intense. They better be hard. There better be some weight on the bar, because you don't get to claim, well, I can only handle so much weight because I'm getting tired. No, you're not tired. You're only doing a few sets. They just don't train hard enough. All right, guys, well, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.